They think these people, when they're disabled, they are not able to contribute to the revolution. I mean, socialist revolution, as much the people who is completely able. The world hasn't really highlighted how much evil this regime is. It's not a joke when the United Nations comes out saying what is happening in North Korea is a Holocaust. North Korean regime literally using its own citizens, its own children, for the medical experiments to test chemical weapons. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today in this video, I will finally talk about the disabled people of North Korea. A lot of you have left comments and asked me how handicapped people are being treated in North Korea. Beforehand, I apologize any words that might not be appropriate to describe disabled people. Please forgive me that my language barrier. I try my best to describe these people, full respect that I have, but sometimes I don't even know what is the appropriate term to call people. Anyway, so let's move on to North Korea. How North Korean regime has been treating people with disabilities. I'm sure you all have a guess, of course not that particularly great, right? They don't even treat people that nicely. Why on earth would they treat disabled people anything differently than that? However, the treatment that handicapped people get is way worse than even ordinary citizens of North Koreans. This is just unthinkable how this North Korean regime has a zero respect to human life. After Kim Jong-un came into power in 2011, he ordered hospital staffs that any babies born with a disability, take them, and if they have a lower chances of a survivor, then just kill those babies and sometimes take them to these facilities for experiments. And I mean, this is the 21st century. This country often cleanses population through this method. When my mother was growing up in the countryside, one of her classmates was exiled from Pyongyang. And she herself was a completely healthy person. But turns out her father he fought during the Korean War and got disabled. Therefore, the entire family got exiled from the capital of North Korea. In fighting in the war, how can that be that is anyone's fault? This regime exiles entire family for that crime. I mean, being disabled is not a crime, but it is apparently in North Korea. They thought in the socialist paradise they cannot show people, with the arms, legs, or any other defects. So they would cleanse the population through this method. They kick off everyone from capital if they were disabled. And not only that, in the countryside, they literally made a concentration camp for the dwarfs, people who is short. I'm not a medical expert. I don't know what causes this to happen. However, there were people in North Korea who are dwarfs, and the regime will send them. This is called dwarfs village, but this is literally a concentration camp that when these people be sent there, they be castrated right away. Men gets castrated and women gets castrated, so they cannot reproduce. And they cannot also leave that town. But not only that, there is also huge harsh lockdown. I mean, I don't even know is a lockdown or punishment for people to be mentally ill. When I was young, I often hear these things. My mom would tell me if you cry, someone from mental hospital gonna go take you away. And this is almost like a joke, but it is really true. When I came to America, going to San Francisco, LA, New York, Chicago, there's so many people on the street are mentally not stable, and they sometimes do the things that is not healthy for other people, but they are free to be in a way going crazy. But in North Korea, people are not do not even have a freedom to go crazy. when they do, these officials come and they take it away to some place called mental hospital clinic, and nobody comes back. We have no clue what is going on there, and everyone try not to go crazy so they don't go there. The other way is about how the regime, in a way that insults disabled people. There's no education or disability, and there's no education, even schools, like how children learn how to respect it. And also, we don't even know why some people get like Down syndrome. I actually learned that word when I came to America. I remember there was one boy in our town. I still don't know how old he was because of his condition. He always looked that young. I mean, he was a lot older than me. But when he walked around, occasionally, those like disabled children usually have to stay inside, almost locked, and parents wouldn't be, they get constantly, sweared at and mocked at. But whenever he goes out, these like children in our town just throw the rocks at him, and I literally thought he was somehow cursed, because there's nobody told us what Down syndrome is and how that happens and how we have to respect it, all of that. None of that education exists. Therefore, kids with genetic disabilities get just harshly affected by this policy. And not only that though, nowadays these children and also citizens, ordinary citizens who have this kind of conditions, they're all taken away to be experiment sites where they test chemical weapons and other things. It's not only my testimony is that, because in 2014, the Human Rights Commission at the UN, they did a huge research on this issue, and they have documented that North Korea using this kind of cleansing method to get rid of all these citizens without medical defects. I have friends from North Korea who are disabled, and he would tell me how he was constantly people telling him to go kill himself, because they think these people, when they're disabled, they are not able to contribute to the revolution, socialist revolution, as much the people who is completely able. And that's why it's something that is not proud of. And I think this is like main thing when North Koreans go to South Korea or other countries, they will truly get shocked, looking at the bathroom for disabled people, going to the, elevator. I could not even know what it was. Like, there were dots, and I literally had to ask why there's dots. And they said, oh, this is for the blind people. It's like, I couldn't believe it, and I never seen a blind person in like my life walking around, because they are always going inside and hiding, and also a lot of times don't even live that long. And like, if the normal people can't live that long, how can those people live that long? So, when you get disabled, you don't really get to live that long, and usually people, the main things North Koreans die from is just infection or just malnutrition, the basic, this kind of disease killing them first. And it's hard to see people really struggling with a disease long time in North Korea, unfortunately. And in that way, I think why in North Korea, because a lot of those people die off very quickly, and people expose less to those, I think, disabilities people here, because here we can preserve life really long time here because of advancement of medical development, all of those things. Anyway, yeah, so this is something I really hope that world knows about, because there are many victims of this regime, but I think the weakest always get affected the most, and usually those are the ones are children and disabled people and elders. And I think the world hasn't really highlighted how much evil this regime is. It's not a joke when the United Nations comes out saying what is happening in North Korea is a Holocaust. North Korean regime literally using its own citizens, its own children, for the medical experiments to test chemical weapons in our bodies. And this is something, as a humanity, like, who are we if we can let this happen? This is something we all collectively to stop, to answer the question, like, this is not who we are. Humanity is great, that we cannot allow this to happen to another humans. Anyway guys, thank you for all your good questions. I look forward to making more videos based on your suggestions and questions. And please leave me more comments what you want to see in the next videos. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. Bye guys.